Nelson Chamisa has psyched up hard-pressed Zimbabweans to liberate themselves. Chamisa, evicted from his party headquarters by his rival Thokozani Khupe of the MDC-T with the aid of armed soldiers and police in a Thursday night raid, yesterday tweeted, "We can't breathe." Apparently, these were the last words by slain African-American George Floyd, who was choked to death by police late last month, triggering unprecedented mass riots against United States President Donald Trump's administration. "It's not about me, or the MDC and Alliance, it is about the people of Zimbabwe. The democratic space is being choked by ZANU-PF, and it is time we act, draw a line in the sand, or we will be choked to death," he said. "Look at how everyone has become an enemy of the state and under siege. First it was the doctors, then they came after journalists, then lawyers, human rights activists. The whole nation can't breathe now," he said. Human rights watchdogs locally and abroad have raised concern over increased human rights abuses in Zimbabwe, which drew international condemnation. But ZANU-PF acting spokesperson Patrick Chamisa last week shot down reports of human rights abuses and dictatorship by President Emmerson Mnangagwa's administration, saying there was no repression in the country to justify protests. He instead urged Zimbabweans to protest against sanctions imposed by the US government, which he claims had economically choked the southern African nation. His sentiments were, however, dismissed by the opposition and Western diplomats as a sideshow. The clampdown on human rights defenders climaxed last week with the arrest of Chamisa's lawyer Thokozani Khupe for allegedly falsifying the signature of a non-existent SUPRISE in a constitutional court challenge over the appointment of Prosecutor General Kumbari Hodzi. This was later followed by the arrest of his party executives on Friday, after they attempted to reclaim their party headquarters sealed off by security forces. Chamisa on Saturday also accused his political detractors of fomenting a culture of hate, label, condemnation, and terrorism in the country. Chamisa, who was accused of receiving advice and funding from former members of the vanquished G40 faction of ZANU-PF in the run-up to 2018 harmonized elections, said clueless leaders thrived on labeling opponents. "Yes, I'm G40, my age is 42, so what? It is a ZANU-PF party culture of label and condemnation. I am not seeking to be the president of MDC. I am already the president of MDC and Alliance, and I am not going to be reduced into petty fights. I am seeking to establish a national consensus for all people. I am not going to label people condemning them because of who they are. I know I am going to lead Zimbabwe, including Mnangagwa and his ZANU-PF, so I am going to lead the entire nation. Why should I say I don't want to see Mnangagwa? When you are a leader, you must unify people. That is my fundamental problem with Mnangagwa. Instead of unifying people, he is waging a gap of hatred within people," Chamisa said. Chamisa said the petty fights in the opposition were being engineered by Mnangagwa with the aid of security forces to destroy him politically. Mnangagwa is forgetting real issues on the ground that include a collapsing the economy is in the doldrums, and corruption has become the new national religion. "We are being treated like this because we have refused to be involved in their mess of abusing citizens," he said. In reference to the Thursday night raid and seizure of his party officers, Chamisa said, "These are desperate attempts by individuals who have realized how desperate their circumstances are. It is a passing phase. We know this issue has been visited upon us by our brother Mnangagwa. This is not an MDC issue, but was visited upon us by Mnangagwa. We don't want this Banyamlan Jorao Shabab mentality. They come in the dead of the night to take over our party headquarters. Are you a witch? It's very unfortunate, but we are not worried about it because we have been in politics for a long time," he said. The U.S. Senate on Foreign Affairs Committee also accused the Zimbabwean government of going all out to obliterate the opposition instead of addressing real unresolved issues, which include COVID-19, the deepening economic crisis, and humanitarian despair. Senator for Delaware Chris Coons, speaking on the issue, said, "I'm watching the situation in Zimbabwe with deep concern. The violent takeover of the MDC headquarters is unacceptable. the arrest of opposition political party leaders, including Tendai Biti, as unacceptable. I oppose any attempt to erode the political rights of the Zimbabwean people.